Ba-ba-da-bow, bow, banger management, fantasy hockey podcast. Woo!
Woo! Woo! Very nice. Welcome in, one and all, to Banger Management, the fantasy hockey podcast with Jake, Josh, and Kevin. Today is our week 22 waivers episode. For some of you, it's the first week of the playoffs. Some of you are going into the semifinals. Very exciting time in the fantasy hockey season. So stay tuned. A lot of great content to come. Before we dive in, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Give this video a like if you're watching on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the support. All the socials are in the podcast description and the link to the Discord community. Talk about it all the time. Great place to be. Kevin lives there.
I do.
If you haven't already, click on the link in the podcast description. Make a username. Come join. Great community. It's also just the best time to be talking about fantasy hockey playoffs with like hundreds of like-minded people. So that's a good thing to do. Before we dive into the content, I know I said it before we dive in already. But we have some stuff to talk about. So playoffs. We are going into the semifinal week 22 in our fantasy hockey league. How's everyone feeling?
I wish you guys got to be on YouTube for this, because I think Josh and I are like devastated, and Jakey is like the most joyful person I've ever seen in my entire life. Like Jakey's when he has his first baby will not be as happy as he is right now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, anyone care to give a brief recap? Josh goes first in the woos, so maybe he could go first in the recap.
Okay, I'll go. I'm effing depressed. Okay, this is the most ridiculous week ever. Okay, this should be an easy win for me this week. Okay, I go into the week, right? I've got McDavid, Draisaitl, Celebrini, and Pasternak, right? Sunday night before the playoffs start, Draisaitl out for the season. Okay, now I'm down to only 3 top 5 players in the league. Okay, I'm still feeling okay. You know, like I should at least make it out of round 1.
Also,
what happens this week?
I just need to say that our rosters are like 22 rosters deep. So it's like, you're like, I only have 4 top 5 picks now. Like, people are not going to have pity for you if you say it like that.
So anyway, I go into the week. I go into the week with 3 top 5 players, right? So we are recording this on Saturday. Combined, Pastas played 3 games, McDavid 2, Celebrini 2, so that's 7 combined games. In those 7 combined games, my 3 players are tied for points with Anthony Cirelli on my opponent's team, who's played only 2 games and has 2 more this week. How does that make sense? Anthony Cirelli has 6 points in 2 games, and I have 6 points in 7 games from Pasternak, McDavid, and Celebrini. It's just, I've never seen 3 top 5 players on 3. I mean, I'm not going to loop in past out the other 2 because he's actually been really good. But like, I've never seen 2 players who are arguably 2 of the top 4 players in the league this year on 2 different teams in 2 completely different situations decide to forget how to play hockey in the first week of playoffs at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. I have 2 new players on my most hated list. Number 1's Anthony Cirelli for sure. I hate this guy so much. Number 2, this is a more random one, but this happens to me every time. Shane effing Pinto should not even be rostered, and he puts up a shorthanded point against me every single week I play him, and it's gonna win them. It's gonna lose me the matchup. So, anyways, I'm doing great.
Josh's matchup is currently he's losing 7-8. He does have tiebreaker though, so like a 7-7 would end up making him go through. But a lot of intricacies with goalie cats and everything. Like it's literally a chess match right now. Yeah, it's tough. I'm in the same boat. So Josh ended up finishing 3rd, so he's playing the 6th place team. I finished 5th, and I'm playing the 4th place team. Jakey will not say anything about his matchup because he finished 8th and playing the first team and is just like killing his matchup. Like he's like picking up guys that are on IR. Like he's picking up guys that like have 1 game left. He's like, oh guys, this is so nice. I'm so happy. Meanwhile, Josh and I are like losing our hair and pulling everything out and not sleeping. But yeah, it's fine. But yeah, no, my matchup. I'm losing 6-7. 6-7.
And it only gets worse from here.
Yeah, it does only get worse from here. Because on Monday, my team pops off. Like I get points, I get everything, like the banger cats. Meanwhile, my opponent has like half the amount of games of me on Monday. But lo and behold, Mendoza, Jack McBain, scores a short-handed goal against me and gets a fight, and I'm playing against Kastelik, who also gets a fight and goes off. So meanwhile, I'm down in PIMS for like the week. I think Tuesday I was down 17-0 in PIMS, okay? Tuesday. And already a shorty. The week was off to a disaster. Then lo and behold, Brent Burns, who's like should not be rostered, gets like 5 shots. That's the equivalent of like the last month and a half of his production in one game. He's got 2 hits. He hasn't had like 2 hits, I think, in like 3 months. If you look at his game log, it's just straight zeros, except in the last game it says 2. It's just, you can't make this up. Like Tommy Novak, who averages like 0.2 blocks a game, he gets 3 blocks against me. Now I'm in a fight for my life in blocks. I went
He's
into this
so many guns to his head. It's crazy.
I went into the week. I should have won hits by like 35. I'm the best hits team in the league. Now we're going into Sunday, and I might win hits by like 5. It's actually insane how everything has happened this week. Meanwhile, my opponent has played like 4 goalies and he's averaging like a 930, and I'm somehow like still competitive in save percentage and goals against average. So it's literally going to come down to the games tonight. How his goalies perform will probably decide my matchup. And I've spent hours planning every single pickup. I have not made a pickup for the last 3 days. Like Josh keeps looking at me, he's just like, Kev, I'm surprised you haven't even made your second pickup yet or whatever. I'm like big braining, like if he does this, I do this. If he does this, I do this. Anyways, I'm stressed. I'm just ready for this to be over, whether it's a win or a loss.
Meanwhile, his opponent picked up Dylan Larkin, who's not even going to play this week.
And
because
he's still going to beat me. It's crazy.
I'm having a great time. I am coasting, which, let's be honest, based on how bad my injuries were over the past few weeks, and I got destroyed in my last 2 weeks. My team got completely decimated. So I was coming into this week. I'm in 8th. I'm playing the first place team, and my team has just gone off, firing on all cylinders.
And wait, to preface this, the first place team has been so far in first place the entire season. Like, did he finish the season with like a 50-point gap on second place? Something like that?
I think it was like 70.
Like, he clinched the playoffs like a month ago.
40.
So just to give you an idea of how dominant this first place team has been from the start of the season to the end. Okay, go ahead, Cheeky.
Yeah. And so for all you cultured viewers / listeners who have seen Miracle on Ice, I'm not looking for the best players, Craig. I'm looking for the right ones. That's me. I put together a team of the right players with the right chemistry. That's how it works. And yeah, I got a few all-stars here and there, but other than that, like, Sean Walker, what a guy. He's been doing so well for me. I
mentioned him on the podcast.
Yeah, you did. Marco Casper has come up huge
he had an
for shots and hits.
Jakey has like a bunch of guys on his roster that should not have been on anybody's roster, and yet they're like all coming together because it's the playoffs.
He's doing
and they're
to the
going
number 1
off.
seed what our opponents are doing to us, where the most random guys are popping off. They had this random guy like Nikita Kucherov who's got like a billion points, shouldn't even be rostered.
Yeah, and like I will say that I don't necessarily believe it's 100%, but it's only like 95. I don't
even know how you can lose, to be honest.
I think it's like pretty unlikely. I mean, because he obviously has the tiebreaker on me, and like he gets a shorty or he overtakes me in power play points or a crazy PIMS game. Like these things do happen, but like the predictable categories, if you will, points, shots, hits, and blocks, and even like saves, I've got that in the bag.
Yeah.
So
Kucherov has played 2 games. He has 8 points, 10 shots.
Somehow he's even better than Anthony Cirelli.
Yeah. Imagine averaging 4 points per game in the fantasy playoffs.
Hagel's no slouch either. And I guess I won't dive too much into this. I'm in like another league that I think it's a pretty serious league, and I have the Tampa stack there too. So I'm just all in. Like
and they still have 2 more games
time
this week. Super fun for us people who are playing against Tampa players.
Yeah,
I'm expecting another 6 points from Cirelli in the next 2 days.
We'll see. We'll provide an update next week and let you know what ended up happening. But I believe in you guys. I know you're down and out, but I think
if you guys are in the Discord, I'm like depressed in there. I keep sending screenshots of my opponent's players being like, "What is this?"
That's when you know it's bad. When you start pulling the screenshots, I was doing that to you guys last night. I was just like look at this, the words can't even describe. You just need to send the picture because it's worth 1,000 words, right?
I love looking at the game log and then how unrealistic the things are. Like when Brent Burns had those games, I'm counting the games. I'm like,
that's it. I love doing that.
If I added every game from last night all the way to February 3rd, he would be less productive than what he did to me right now.
You know, this is what when you're on some news whatever for hockey whatever, and you see those ridiculously cherry picked stats. And then, this is how it happened. It's someone got wrecked in fantasy, and he's like, let me look this up. This is ridiculous, and you pull up together, Anthony Cirelli has as many points as past McDavid and Celebrini combined this week, Brent Burns has the most shots on goal he's had in his entire, career or whatever. That's where those stats come from. It's just a pissed off fantasy player.
Yeah. And I will say, Jack McBain Mendoza, he's now on my hate list. I cannot. It's Matthew Olivier's public enemy number 1, Mendoza's number 2. I'm sorry, just what he's done to me, what he's done to my body, it's not fair.
And on that note, I think we should get into stuff. Let's talk about our previous week choices. Obviously, that was the first week of the playoffs for a lot of people, so let's see how we did to guide everyone. So our first pick was Jamie Benn. 3 games played, only 1 assist. We're counting that as an L. He still has 1 more game this week. The process was there. Power play 1 on Dallas on a 4-game week with another 4-game week coming up. He should be doing better than he did, and he was really hot before that. So there's still hope. There's still 1 more game left where it could turn into a good stream, but for now, we're gonna have to count that as an L. Then
he's averaging over a double-double though, so I will say
that's fair.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good thing to point out. You're not just seeing straight zeros if you had McDavid or Celebrini this week.
Yeah.
So next we have Frank Nazar. 4 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Going to count that as a win. He's just been playing great. He's got another 4-game week coming up, so I'm very happy. I've been recommending everyone to pick him up, and when they've been looking at similarly type percentage owned players, I think he's going to have a really good finish. And then we had Alexis Lafreniere. This is a big topic of Yahoo glitching out and telling me he was 18% owned when I knew it was more. I just wasn't sure if he was below the 40% threshold. Turns out he was, so it was still legal. But since then, 4 games played, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points, huge W. This was the most obvious pickup, I think, of the playoffs. You get a guy line 1, power play 1 on the team with the most insane playoff schedule. Former first overall pick popping off, it was a no-brainer. So not surprised that that's a W. 2-1 on the week. Pretty happy with how we did. Our top 2 were the ones with the W's. So if people have the options between them, then I hope they chose correctly. That brings our season record to 36-21, and I think that's a lot of preface for what the people are really here for, which is week 22. So should we dive into that?
Either the first week of the playoffs for a lot of leagues that have their championship in week 24, or the semifinals. So if you're still with us, happy you're here. Congrats. Listen, we're here to build championship contenders, so let's get into it.
Let's do it. All right, 2-game teams for this week. There are none. Nobody has to be dropped because of their schedule. So that's pretty exciting. 4-game teams, we got a nice amount here. We got Boston, Columbus, Chicago, Dallas, Florida, Montreal, New Jersey, Nashville, Rangers, Ottawa, Philly, Tampa. The busy nights are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And when I say busy nights, I mean almost every team in the NHL is playing on these 3 nights. If ever there was a week to focus on off nights, it is this week, because you are not going to be able to fit guys into your schedule who don't have off nights.
I have such a good team for off nights. If only I could make the semifinals.
Teams that have 2 off night games, you got Boston, Buffalo, Chicago, Rangers. Obviously, the Rangers are the pinnacle of schedule for this week because they play on all the off nights. It's actually, and 4 games. It's ridiculous. That's why a couple Rangers guys made this list who, otherwise wouldn't have, but the schedule is just too beneficial. And then Buffalo's the only other team who doesn't play Tuesday, and Chicago's the only other team that doesn't play Saturday. So those are all things to keep in mind as we get into our top 10 list. But let's dive right in to what the people want to hear. Kevin, you want to start us off with?
Number 10.
All right. At number 10, we've got Mason Marchment of the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's playing line 1, power play 1. They've got a 4-game week, and he's been a little cold lately, but he's got the deployment, and Columbus has been nuts. And they are recently bumped the Islanders out of a playoff spot. They are fighting for their lives. We talk about wanting guys on teams that are fighting for their lives. So I think that he can have a very solid week for you, but because of his cold streak, that's what made him number 10 and not higher up on the list.
Hope he doesn't play well, because if I do make it to the next round, my opponent's my opponent
Oh
has
no.
it.
I feel so bad for you.
Yeah, so I like the formula here of guy with top line and power play exposure on a team that's been scoring a lot and performing very well, and who's been underperforming. So it's a clear candidate to regress towards. Yeah, I mean,
Don't get us
progress
in trouble
towards the
again.
mean, just in case, to get better and to keep in line with, doing stuff that he was similarly doing earlier in the year. But even without it, he has been cold. But just like with Jamie Benn, the shots hits have been okay. So even if you've been riding it into the cold point streak, he's been decent. So yeah, I really like it as a pickup for this week.
And is there a hotter team than the Columbus Blue Jackets right now?
Buffalo.
Yeah,
Honestly, both those two teams.
But
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be rooting for both of them in the playoffs. Like, if the Habs don't make it,
Yeah.
I think the Habs should make it. Like, it'd be devastating if we don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been like assumed we're gonna make it for like
Yeah.
months now, and all
And
of
now
a
it's like,
sudden they're playing terribly. And
Yeah.
I mean, look, if they keep playing terribly, they're not gonna make it. They're currently tied with both wildcard teams. So,
Yep.
but let's not get onto a Habs tangent. But speaking of the other hottest team in the NHL, the Buffalo Sabres, let's go to
Number 9.
at number 9. We have Jason Zucker of the Buffalo Sabres, line 2, power play 1. He's the only guy on this list who's not a 4-game week, but because of that off night on the Tuesday, it's essentially a 4-game week, because that's how just packed those 3 days are, especially the Tuesday and Saturday. So that's why he makes the list, because it's kind of like a 4-game week for him. He's been averaging close to a point per game over the past couple of weeks. And he's on that power play. Buffalo, like we said, is probably the hottest team in the league. It's every time we bring up, Zucker, we have to bring up, or one of these Buffalo guys, we have to bring up the trio of, pick up a bull guys on Buffalo. You've got Zucker, you've got Doan, you've got Norris. Norris has been ice cold, so I wouldn't go with him right now. And Doan's just very kind of like on and off. I just feel like Zucker, I mean, this is the same conversation we've had for weeks, right? He's just the safest floor, and he's been performing lately. And when you just need a 1-week sample size, you go with the guy who's been hot. So that's kind of how we ended up with Zucker.
That is great logic.
Yeah, I think between Zucker and Marchment, this is really, it depends on what your team situation is. If you value the off nights more, I like Zucker. If you value the 4 games more, go Marchment. It's such a toss up. I think it's so close.
It just might depend that, like, but would you rather 3 games of Marchment or 3 games of Zucker? That's the question, because a lot of teams might have to bench Marchment somewhere.
Yeah. If your team already has a couple Rangers players and you don't need the off nights, then I would take the 4 games of Marchment. But I was kind of just counting Zucker as a 4-game because he's one of 2 teams that doesn't play on the Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a tremendously valuable off night week, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, should we go to
number 8?
Talking about off night guys, we got our first of the New York Rangers players that we're going to mention on this list, and that is Vladislav Gavrikov. Line 1, power play 2, 4-game week this week, 4-game week next week. We don't have to keep going into the Rangers just are the pinnacle of playoff schedule, especially this week. This is the most important one. He's been randomly putting up points. Look, if this was a regular, season week, he would never sniff this top 10 because I don't trust the longevity of what he's doing. But with the ridiculous schedule and how hot he's been, you just need him to be good for 4 games for this week at least, right? Or 8 games if you're thinking 2 weeks ahead. You gotta have at least one Rangers guy on your roster going into next week. That's kind of how I feel with the schedule.
He's a really good past month.
Yeah,
his points have been surprisingly good. Like, I honestly don't know why. Like, he's a guy that plays a lot of minutes, but it's not like he's a exceptional offensive threat. The thing is, he doesn't get you at like any shots, hits, or blocks. Like, that's just surprising because he's like a defensive defenseman, you would think.
Yeah,
and he's putting up points and not any of the back cats. But I would say this one is a higher risk reward because you are getting the volume of the games from the defensive position on a team that is like, obviously the Rangers suck and they're losing games, but they're kind of like putting up points now, which is still like fun for fantasy. But Gavrikov himself, I feel like, is a risky enough asset that, like, if you need a guy that you can fit in the off nights because you're full on the other nights, he's like the perfect candidate because you can get those points. But I'm not streaming him for, I need to flip hits, blocks, or anything, and I need a defensive. I'm not streaming Gavrikov. If that makes sense.
No, for sure. It's not a backcats pickup. This is hoping for some points. And again, like, it doesn't make regular season. This would never be a recommendation because the process isn't there. But when you're just thinking at 1 week at a time, and it's really at the end of the day, it boils down to how his hot streak and the Rangers schedule. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next one because it's a similar kind of idea.
At number 7.
At number 7, we have Gabe Perreault, also of the New York Rangers. Line 1, power play 2. Again, Rangers' schedule's unreal. Perreault's been putting up points, not going to get you back at. This is kind of like the forward version of Gavrikov, except Perreault's actually a good offensive prospect, so it kind of makes sense if he gets points. And that first line of him, Zibanejad and Laff, has been kind of on fire. So if you need the points and you need the good schedule, I like Perreault as a pickup. And honestly, if by some miracle I make it out of this week, I'll get my guy to go, take a visit to JT and get Perreault back on power play 1. And if you're wondering who my guy
So you
is,
admit you have a
it's
guy.
JT. So
I'm too busy putting together a superstar squad over here, so unfortunately I am unavailable to do so. But yeah, I think that like the difference between Perreault and Gavrikov is quite substantial.
yeah,
I'm much more interested in Perreault because I don't really get why Gavrikov has been so good, whereas Perreault actually had a lot of offensive potential coming into this year. I think when we did the top 10 Calder finalists
He was number 10.
episode, he was number 10. And so,
But
yeah,
also to note, we did not have Schaefer on that list. So
way to keep us accountable.
yes, I have to. I still have major regrets about that.
Yeah, but listen, line 1 playing with Zibanejad and the GOAT Lafreniere, I like it.
I think also like you look at Perreault has not been my favorite player just because he's the type of guy that will get you like an average night for him is like 1 assist and zeros across the board type of thing. And like it's just like not fun to look at, but there's still value there. And if you do get like a few shots or something, you're happy. So I just want to, preface know what you're getting into. And this is very much like a volume for the points. Like if you get a lot of points in your leagues, like if a block is equivalent to like if 2 blocks makes 1 assist, like you might have a better chance of like picking up a volume guy that's going to get you blocks than banking on Perreault's assist type of thing. So just know your league settings and what makes the most sense. But for Banger Cats, like he's not the most category coverage type of guy. But he is getting good minutes. He's averaging over 19 minutes a night. It's encouraging for him to be able to continue this pace.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next one.
At number 6.
At number 6, we have Victor Arvidsson of the Boston Bruins. Line 2, power play 2, 4-game week this week and next week. Not as good a schedule with the Rangers because of the off nights, but 2 more 4-game weeks coming up. And again, I mean, kind of the theme here is like guys who I don't believe in keeping this up for long term, but it doesn't matter because we only need them to keep it up for 2 weeks. And Arvidsson's been that line of Zacha, Arvidsson, and Middlestat has essentially been the Bruins' top line for the past month. They've been on fire. He's just been killing it. So normally I wouldn't be recommending a line 2 power play 2 guy like this, but with the schedule and just how hot he's been, it's kind of a no-brainer pickup.
You're welcome to everybody who I told to pick up this line over Lindholm and everything else. I'm just putting that out there.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also just been very solid with the points lately, which is nice to see from a guy who hasn't really done it in a few years. So this whole Boston team still doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess while I just simply have to concede that they're in contention for the playoffs and it's staying that way. Are you in any way, and I'm talking deep league here, interested in Lucas Reichel?
I saw the one game he had where he put up 2 points.
It was
But I
the
mean,
one
he's playing...
game he had, though.
Yeah, but like he's playing line 3
again.
with the worst player in the world, Elias Lindholm. So
the best player in the world, Morgan Gigi.
That's true. So it evens out to just a regular line. No, I'm not too interested. I mean, we're gonna get another sample size. We have one more game of Boston before next week. If Reichel puts up another 2-point game, then yeah, I would consider picking him up because again, you just need him to have like a hot week, right? And if he's going into the week with like 4 points in 2 games, but if he just does nothing this next game, then it's just like one of those flash in the pans. I mean, most likely that's what it is anyways. But it's definitely something worth looking at. It's a good call out.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention.
It's crazy how like we went into this playoff season kind of touting these Boston players because of the schedule. Like they have the 4-4-4, just like the Rangers. Like plan to get them Pasta. Then it was like Pasta, Lindholm, McAvoy, and then it ends up being like Arvidsson, Zacha, Reichel. You're like, what do we? Who could have predicted this?
Not me. I'm the one stuck here with Pasta and Lindholm. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's go to
Yeah.
the next one. This one is an interesting one.
At number 5.
At number 5, I mean, I'm gonna stop mentioning that, like saying this, because I feel like this is just kind of encompassing for most of them. But we don't care about longevity. We just care about this week and next week. So
I think you should keep saying it.
yeah, okay, fine. I'll keep saying it. Connor Brown of the New Jersey
when you say
Devils.
longevity, when you say, I mean, technically longevity, it's like between now and the end of the season. So like, could it be sort of like you're talking about next 2 weeks, or like even just like like rest of the season? He could
I more mean that,
there's
like,
only 1
if
week
this
after,
was,
right?
I more mean that if this was like a month ago, if this wasn't playoffs, essentially, these guys would never be. I would never utter these words, you know.
Right.
But because
this
it's
is not me. I'm not like this.
because this is like so close to the end of the season, and the longevity of now to end the season is such a short period of time. It's really just riding the hot streaks. It doesn't matter if this guy has never done anything like this in his career, and it's only going to last a week or two, because that's all you need. So that's kind of what I mean by the longevity. So speaking of guys who are never going to do this again, but we've got Connor Brown of the New Jersey Devils, currently on power play 1, line 2 power play 1, 4-game week the next 2 weeks, and he's putting up like some decent numbers in his last 4 games. I think he has 6 points. And look, he's got the deployment, he's got the schedule, and he's got the hot streak. I feel like that's the three pillars of a solid playoff pickup, So that's kind of what brings him to this list. You can argue between him and like Arvidsson, who's been hotter, obviously. The reason I put Brown higher is just because of the power play 1 exposure, and like at the end of the day, like I feel like I just like that deployment better. But if between the two of them, I think it's super close.
I also like his line mates better.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Hughes
I just think he has
and
better
Bratt.
deployments in general.
Exactly.
The only thing with Connor Brown, though, I will say, is that his deployment feels a little bit more at risk than the other ones, just because like he's only got it for like the first time like this whole season right now. So you're kind of like, you're putting a lot of stock into him keeping it. And I can't get a read on the Devils, because it feels like they're still trying to win and make the playoffs, even though it kind of feels like impossible. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Everyone's like, should we tell them?
Yeah, literally. Like, who's this guy? It's like that picture of the dragons, and they're all serious, but one of them is like making the clown face. Like, that's the devil there. Like, but they're not tanking either. They're not trying to lose. So I'm like, okay, so I don't know what to predict. Like, are they going to keep trying to win for one more week, and it's going to be like very valuable, or are they going to put like, I don't know. Anyways, I do like Connor Brown, because if somebody's doing what he's doing, you have to pay attention, and the minutes are decent. So it's close between him and Arvidsson for me. Arvidsson feels a little safer just because like we've seen it for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But I think Connor Brown, you get the higher upside because of what he's been doing.
Like, I could see Arvidsson getting more points, but Brown getting more power play points, because obviously that power play deployment. So obviously league settings have to be taken into account there, and it's super close, but I think they're both solid.
And both have 4 games this week and 4 games the week after.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one.
At number 4.
At number 4, even though he did us dirty last week, he's back because the process just makes too much sense not to recommend him again. We've got Jamie Benn of the Dallas Stars, line 2 power play 1, another 4-game week, but then only 3 games after that. And it's just like, he's power play 1 on the second best power play in the entire NHL. That's the pitch, on a 4-game week. Like, and he was really hot until like just this week, right? Like, it's kind of like, and you kind of get this feeling, like, I know this isn't actually how it works, but like, you get this feeling when there's a guy who should be performing and he has a couple bad games, in your head you're like, it's okay, he's banking his good games, like the averages are going to average out. So if he gets his bad games out of the way now, that, I mean, at least that's what I'm telling myself, hoping for a good game from Celebrini and McDavid today. Like, I'm like, 2 games of sucking, I deserve a game of being unreal. Like, so
5-point McDavid game incoming.
The only thing is my opponent has Hyman, so it's like it's gonna get canceled out. But anyways, yeah. So I think Ben's so I think Ben's a solid pickup, just because the process makes too much sense. It's kind of like the opposite of some of these previous ones, where it's like an Arvidsson, right? Like, the process like does not lead me to wanting to pick him up in a normal week, but because he's been so hot and the schedule, like, we're recommending him. Ben is the opposite. It's like he's been cold, but the process is there, so he's a guy that I would normally recommend in this kind of situation.
He's still on line 2 playing with Duchesne too. So it's like, it's not like there's the deployment that changed or anything like that. It's just like they had a few games where they were less productive. It happens. But I think on a 4-game week, like, you bet on a guy like this that's power play 1, who was like recently productive, and on a top 3 power play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels Marchment-esque with a better power play. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cold with good
But
deployment.
also, like, the fact that he's hitting when he's not doing much for points is like, oh, well, you're getting something.
And
Yeah.
Dallas still wants to win games to, finish above Colorado. So
Yeah, it's definitely within reach.
Yeah.
they're
I
4
think at
points
this-
behind and there's
Yeah.
how many games left? Like 14-ish?
As a blanket statement, I think that no team at this stage, as we're speaking, is doing anything different to their lineup except like Florida. By that I mean it's not like any of the players are like getting less ice time or fake
Yeah.
injured. It's like
Florida's
other
a
than
mess, though.
yeah,
It's great.
Florida.
Bill Zito's walking
Florida's-
around the locker room, and he's like, "Oh my god, did you strain yourself getting up from the bench just there? Here's a free ticket to Mexico for a week all inclusive. Like, we need that top 10 round pick,
Oh, hey,
Like,
Kevin.
don't come back until we're in the bottom 10 of the league."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like
And
there's
on
select
that,
few
the
teams.
the
that are
Bobrovsky
doing
shutout though, right after.
that. Yeah.
Make it make
Also,
sense.
did your cat just walk by 2
Yes.
seconds ago? That was
Yeah, she did.
really. I was like, what
No,
is
sorry, that was
on
my
your
tail.
screen?
Forgot to tell you guys.
All right, let's get into our top 3 for this week. So at
Number 3.
number 3, we have the best player on the Boston Bruins, and that is Pavel Zacha. Line 2, power play 1, 2 4-game weeks coming up. Formal apologies from me for ever doubting the godliness of Pavel Zacha.
You're welcome.
This is what Jakey picked him up for years ago when he first came into the league. Or am I mixing him up with someone else?
I don't
I
think
thought-
it was him.
I'm thinking Gusev. That's what I mixed it up with.
Zach is way better than Gusev.
Yeah, no, this is honestly look, he has power play 1 and he's got those 2 4-game weeks, right? So that's enough to be on the list, and then he's just been insane. So look,
Yeah.
does it suck as a Lindholm and Pasternak owner to just my guys are like Squidward and you see Zacha like SpongeBob and Patrick with Middlestad and Arvidsson kind of just roaming around. So that's kind of how I feel. But yeah, no, he's under 40% owned still. This is a great pickup for the rest of the playoffs with how he's been playing and the deployment.
This
Yeah.
morning he's 41% owned, but
Ah,
we made this list last night.
yeah.
So
Everyone's
We're-
trying to make me look bad. That's what it
Yeah,
is. Everyone was like, "I'm gonna make the pickup. Gonna wait until
Yeah.
after."
but he's hitting, he's blocking, he's got 6 points in his last 4 games. Like, you can't ask for much more from a guy that's hovering around this roster percentage with this, quality of playoff schedule as well. Like, he's the type of guy that, makes your opponent's hate list after this week type of thing,
Yeah. He's the
you
type
play
of guy you
against
don't want to
Pavel
bring home
Zacha.
to your mom.
Yeah.
Tell him why. Because he'll
I'm not
bang
gonna
your
say
mom. No. Wheel snipe Sally. I mean, that's it. That's what it comes down to.
I was gonna say something, but I feel like following that is pretty difficult.
You can.
No, I mean, long story short, I think that Boston's hopes now are basically balancing out the lines. Imagine one day he does get the opportunity to play with Pasternak, he'd be sick. Other than that, I think it will be a little bit volatile moving forward, but you can't deny what he's been doing. So at least for now, I really like the pickup. And yeah, definitely don't bring him home to your mom.
All right, let's go to
The best number in the entirety of
the
numbers.
alphabet.
I was going to say the alphabet. I was like, Number 2.
Oh, yeah. Big number 2 guy. All right. At number 2, we've got Frank Nazar of the Chicago Blackhawks. Line 2 power play 1, 4-game week with that juicy off night on Saturday. So a great schedule for this week. And he's just been on fire. He's a prime suspect for these classic end of season highs where he's a young guy on a team that's not competing anymore and he's getting the good deployment and he's got the talent. So I think he's a great pickup. He was a solid pickup for last week and I think he's going to ride it into another solid week.
He gives me a little bit better than Gabe Perreault vibes type of thing. Whereas you're not expecting the category coverage. Realistically, you could get, unless you're in a face-off wins league, but you could end up getting a week where it's 1 assist and a shot type of thing, and you're happy with that because you're getting the points exposure. But I'm thinking he's much more likely to get a point than Perreault, in my opinion.
And
He's
power play
surrounded,
1.
yeah, and power play 1. And he does block a little bit, I will say. I'll give him that. So if you're in a league that has blocks and from the forward position, it's always valuable. Not expecting any hits, and just the shots is like between 1 or 2 every game, pretty much. So know what you're getting yourself into, but anybody that's tied to Bedard in a 4-game week on a power play like this, like that's currently has a good run of form, I'm interested in.
Yeah, well said. I just wish he was averaging over 2 shots a game, but hey.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Also, if I say somebody's form has been bad, how do you take that in? What does that mean to you?
I mean,
It
it
means that
clearly
you're
means
a
they're just like
soccer
fat, you know.
I was gonna say.
I like, and you said something earlier, like, I'm currently losing 7-8, and I'm like, oh, so European.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because like everyone like in hockey terms is like, oh, like
Yeah.
they lost 3-2, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even if it's like your team, I get it from your perspective, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always.
That's like a tennis
your
thing
team's
too,
always
right?
first.
Like, yeah.
Because I answered somebody in the Discord, and I said like, oh, like this guy, he's been in bad form or whatever, and he's just like, what do you mean, like bad deployment? And I was just like, oh, I guess like that's not like people don't just like associate that
Yeah.
with like a good run of form or like being
Yeah. No, you're
producing
talking
well.
like Matvei Michkov coming into training camp, like
after a weekend at Shady Maple or whatever it is.
Exactly. All right, let's get to this one.
The bane of everybody's existence. Number 1.
At number 1, we have probably the person I hate the most in this world, and I don't really hate a lot of people, so maybe it's not hard to top that list. But my hatred runs deep. This person ended my fantasy season this week, most likely.
Week's not over.
And I hate him, and I just wish only the worst for him going forward. And that is Anthony Cirelli of the Tampa Bay Lightning, line 1 power play 2, another 4-game week. He has 6 points in 2 games this week, with another 2 games to go. Let's see what he does. It's going to be fantastic. He's going to have another good week next week. If you're playing with Kucherov, then you can be a pylon with a stick taped to you, and you're going to get a couple points. So it's this a clear pickup, and I hate him, and that's all I can say.
He's averaging a triple single, so it's like 1 shot, 1 hit, 1 block, pretty much, basically hovering around there. So
I thought even a triple single because he gets 3 points every game he plays.
maybe that too. Who do you hate more, Cirelli or Matthew Olivier?
Cirelli, easy.
Really? Yeah, because I guess it happened to you in the playoff week.
Yeah, I mean, I also I don't hate Matthew Olivier like you do. Like, I kind of think it's funny when he does it to us. And also, I kind of discovered Olivier last year, and he was really good for me. So I still have the good vibes from that. Cirelli, I have
the
nothing.
multi-point games against me randomly throughout the season.
Look, he did it to me too, right? Like it's been scientifically documented that whenever he's against me and you, he's gonna have the best week of his career. But no, my hatred for Cirelli is. It's funny to say it runs deep when it just existed since like the past week, but it runs deep.
Run deep.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't go to the Olympics.
Oh my god, it's a consequential time, so I definitely understand your
this is like everyone in like
animosity.
the Discord is telling me that I have to join the Banger Management League next year, and I'm like, you guys don't understand how mentally unhinged I am. Like, it's actually like I'm sitting in bed, like, and I'm like, I hate him, like, rocking against the wall in the corner, like
putting bullets in his shotgun, taking them out, putting them in.
Literally, like this was kind of the pitch to me when we were talking about like starting the pod, right? You guys were like, you overreact so much to stuff, and you're so insane that we think you would be good on the as a podcast host. And I'm like,
you know what? Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If you want to unleash my insanity on the masses, then go for it. But yeah, anyways, I hate him, but he's a fantastic pickup.
I feel like I live your emotions like 80% of your threshold. I just don't have like the. I think what keeps me from that 20 extra percent that I'm missing to be at your level is the fact that I am in multiple leagues. Because then what happens is I'm getting $8 pooped on in our League of Record matchup.
As opposed to what other kind of never mind.
You know what I mean. But in our league of record matchup, it's really not going well for me, and that's the one that I care about the most. But then I look at my other two matchups where I'm playing that I still have two leagues that I care about, and I'm like I'm the underdog in those, and I'm like doing well. So it's just kind of like it's like a little bit of a silver lining. Like, okay, my journey ends here, but it continues here for a little bit, and like doesn't feel as good, but the mental load that it alleviates, it gives me more room. You know?
Yeah, but you see the reaction I'm having now. Now picture me being in two leagues and this happening to me in both leagues simultaneously.
Or what if you win both leagues?
Yeah, I mean, if you win both leagues, I'd say it's like 30% better than winning one league. If you lose one and win the other, you're like 90%. Like you're way less upset, basically.
Okay, but if I lose two, then I'm literally gonna like.
I feel like losing, but it's like a marginal difference. Like if you lose two, it's like you're not that much more pissed than if you lose one. That's the thing. Emotionally, I feel like there's only upside here.
Look, at the end of the day, this is the wrong time to be coming to try and recruit me.
Yeah,
you guys know
true,
this. End of season is when I'm at my most miserable with fantasy and just ready for the break.
Time.
The time to get me is like Labor Day weekend, so we'll see what happens.
I will say the only thing I'll add for Cirelli is look, like if there is a line shuffle and he's not with Kucherov, which has happened. I mean, it's possible they put Point there and whatever. Like even if he's playing with Hagel and Gensel, I'm not as interested, but I still am interested. Like so for now, as things stand, his spot on the number one here, I totally agree with.
And
yeah,
it's not just these last. Yeah. It's not just these last two games of this week. Like he's been averaging over a point per game for the last month. So it's like it's been a consistent production. Like he's not, like we said before, he's not a category stuffer, but he's consistent in what he does. This Tampa team is just insane, and they also want to lock down that top spot because Buffaloes keep giving them a run for their money. So they have some work to do, and they're going to keep scoring goals. And you're playing on the same line as Nikita Kucherov, who averages 4 points a night. Like some of that's going to rub off on you.
This is the most no-brainer pickup. The only downside of this pickup is that he's not going to be playing against me next week. So that's a big L. But but yeah, other than that, I hate him and he's a great pickup. All right, let's go to the top 5 bankers under 20% owned for this week. Again, this is going to be very scheduled based, so you're going to hear some names that you haven't heard most of the season. And also since we cut down to under 20% the past couple of weeks, but it's nice to have some new names. So let's dive right in with.
Should we just do the 5 and then we'll talk about them?
Yeah, we can do the 5.
All right, so here's the 5 guys we're recommending for this week. We've got Beck Malenstein, Braden Schneider, Ty Cartier, Matthew Olivier, and Mark Kastelik. So 2 of Kevin's top hated guys is the number 1 and 2. But
very nice.
So the top 4 that I mentioned all have 4-game weeks coming up, including 2 Rangers. Again, we've talked about that schedule enough. And Malenstein's on Buffalo. They have the 3-game week, but with that off night on Tuesday, which kind of makes it into a 4-game week. Obviously, like look at your team, and if you already have Rangers players, you don't need to bother picking up a Buffalo guy. But if you don't have a Rangers guy and you can't grab one, then these Buffalo guys are kind of like pseudo 4-game weeks.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say exactly what that means. It's basically that the New York Rangers have the off night and Buffalo has the off night. Just in case anyone's not following that logic. And the Rangers are better because they have 4 games as opposed to Buffalo's 3.
Exactly.
I wanted to add that.
Yeah, so Malenstein, he's just really solid at hits, averaging 3.5 on the season, 1 block, so he's actually a solid block guy, and he's a good PIMS guy, but not much else too exciting to say about him. Schneider's another one that's not too exciting. He's been averaging 1.2 shots, 2 hits, 1.6 blocks on the season, 20 minutes of ice time. I like a lot of Bangers guys better. This just comes down to the schedule, who you could fit in, because at the end of the day, it's volume with Bangers, right? Cartier, kind of same vibe, just a pure hits guy. He had that random 5-game 7-point streak, which ended immediately when I picked him up. So I wouldn't expect points from him, but again, hits from that 4-game week. I think the interesting ones are obviously the top 2 guys to talk about. So
I do like Cartier though a bit. I will say I think he's quite good, and he's getting his minutes are volatile as can be, really, 17 and then 11 and 13, and you know what I mean? So it's it's really all over the place, but hey, I mean, I think that he's kind of a guy who needs to prove that he can be in the league, and the no better opportunity on a Rangers team right now, playing with, I mean, I know you hate JT Miller, but not bad. This is decent deployment for him. So I think he'll do decently well with this.
And the main thing with these Bangers guys overall is that you want to stack volume, because the hits usually are very predictive. Like a guy that averages 3 hits will be very accurate at averaging 3 hits. So stacking the volume makes it guaranteed that you're going to get what you're looking for. And the fact that you put my number 2 hated at the top 2 here, Castellic and Olivier, just means that listen, they're hated for a reason, and it's because they do harm to your fantasy team when you play against them. So if you have the opportunity to pick them up on your own team, then there you go.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the goalie section, because these are probably the highest impact pickups you can make in any given week, especially in the playoffs. Let's start with some quantity guys. I'll just list them and we can talk about them. So we've got Connor Ingram, Joel Hofer, and Jakub Dobeš. Dobeš being under 40% owned at this point of the season is baffling to me. Maybe this is another one that overnight flipped to 40%. You could check him.
I'm about
if you
to
wanna
check.
Call me out again. But when I wrote this down, he was below. So that to me is the
35.
most obvious.
Yeah,
That's crazy, right? Like he's
Yeah.
at this point, it's been already 2 weeks of him being the clear starter. I know it was a lot of like murky for a lot of the season, but at this point, it's really crazy to me how low rostered he is. They have Carolina, Columbus, and then a backup back-to-back of Nashville, Carolina. So it's not easy matchups, but the Habs are in do or die mode. They need to win every single game they can. And if Dobeš keeps performing well, which he has, he's going to get every non-back-to-back start. So he's definitely going to get you the quantity and has a decent shot. He's won 65% of his games this year.
Yeah,
That's
there's
pretty
a reason.
nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's number 1 on this list. And I agree with the order. So we had once again Ingram 3, Hofer 2, Dobeš 1.
Yeah, I
Ingram's
skipped
just
to one.
not.
But
No, that's cool. I get it. He's the most exciting to talk about, so it makes sense. Ingram's just like not that good. But I saw that someone commented on this. Realistically, if none of the goalies can work in Edmonton, maybe
It's the
it's an
defense.
Edmonton thing.
Oh, for sure.
Really,
yeah.
like so I don't even know if it's
It's not like they're
necessarily
putting the
that
best goalies in this
absolutely
in there either, right?
But there's like
it's-
enough of a
absolutely,
trend. Like, it's like at a certain point, if you're the type of person who like, all your exes were, awful people or whatever, like at a certain point, like that you'll start looking at the person themselves, right? Like,
Yeah.
So that's how it feels
Exactly.
with Edmonton, all their ex goalies, oh, they were so bad, garbage player, whatever, oh, and then they go and they're in a happy relationship in Pittsburgh. Stuart Skinner, he's doing great now,
Yeah.
like it's,
Yeah.
yes, they're not targeting the right goalies for sure, but the system there is watch McDavid skate and score some goals, and then we'll sit back and hope that we let in fewer than he manages to score this game. Like that's what it's been for years.
Yeah.
I think there's some sort of aspect to, like a mental aspect to having such talented forwards on your team where you feel you can have, more leeway to play sloppy defensively. I don't know. I'm spitballing here, but I agree with you essentially. I don't put blame on the Edmonton goalies anymore at this point. I think it's the defense. But they're
Put a
not
little
doing
bit of
themselves any
blame.
favors either.
No, but yeah, exactly. Like they're not bringing. Like I think John Gibson, who can clearly succeed in an environment that's friendly to him succeeding. Now, all caveat: Anaheim's good this year.
Yeah.
And they were not good last year when Gibson was still there. All this to say, like you put someone like him, who's at this stage in his career, like a top 15 to 20 goalie, I guess, in the league, he would have been
At least
great
this
on
year, yeah.
Edmonton.
Yeah.
Like Ingram's, like a borderline starter, maybe like 30.
But Ingram was like
kind of-
fantastic last year before he went into the players assistance program. Like he was really
Yeah,
good,
it's
and they
true.
got him for free. Like the issue, I mean, yeah, we don't have to dive too much into why Edmonton's
it's all to say that
bleep
I
show,
do think
but-
that he's clearly the starter moving forward for
Yes.
them. Jerry is not a thing, and
but it's always like
Edmonton
he's
is
clearly
not.
the starter until he's not, though. But
You
they've
think
seen
so?
enough.
Like, there's a chance he.
I mean, if he plays what Jari was playing, they'll sign an e-bug and put him in there at this point. Like I think they're
Jakey,
desperate.
Yeah, I'm right.
Sure, you can stop a McDavid breakaway. So
If I saw the McDavid breakaway, they're gonna sign me. You'll see.
Yeah, they will. They will.
We'll be like
we-
podcasting from the ice, like
I mean-
just playing with like a helmet cam.
For those in the Discord, Josh posted some highlight tape from his last game of him scoring a goal. It was pretty sick. It was on a breakaway. Somebody commented like, "Only Jakey could have saved that shot."
no, he said even prime Jakey couldn't save that.
Oh, there you go. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was actually really funny. Like I was playing in like my beer league, whatever. Had another great game as usual. If I could have myself on my fantasy team, I would never lose. Let's just say.
Yeah.
But I'm better than Kucherov. Okay. Anyways, and then like I go home, and then like someone on the team, I guess, like when like there's like the live barn thing, right, where like there's it's filmed or whatever, and someone on the team like went through the tape and was like, I was just looking at the game and I saw this like sick goals, and he just like sent it, and I'm like, oh sick, I'm gonna send it to like everyone I know, and that's the Discord, obviously, all my best friends. So I just decided, I was having a garbage fantasy night, I'm like, this is the highlight of the night. Yeah.
Did you say you guys lost 13-3?
Yeah, but I got 3 points.
Oh, there you go. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Honestly, like, it's kind of bad, but like throughout my like hockey career, I feel like I've always been on losing teams. But like, so like as long as I do well and have a good time, like I'm happy, you know. Like,
at a certain point, if all the teams you are on losing, you got to look.
I mean, I'll be honest. I am very sloppy defensively. I am pure offense. I'm like a winger who, like, you know, I cheat up to try and get those, like, you know, long passes, or, you know,
you're like JT Miller on that play from the beginning.
I was gonna say, no wonder you hate like Rick Tocchet and all these guys, because you would never survive on their fan.
Oh my god, I would get absolutely murdered. First of all, I'm definitely in way worse shape than Michkov was showing up to training camp, so I'd be immediately demoted to like line 4, just like him. And then, yeah, no, if he makes me play defense, I'm cooked, you know. If I don't score a goal, I'm like, this game was a waste of my time.
Yeah. So back to this. Anything to add on Hofer?
I think Hofer's been giving.
Ahead,
I mean, I think it's just been giving you exceptional quality. Like, there's a reason why he's kind of run away with a starting job here. Like, they give Binnington the odd game. Like, he'll play every 3 or 4 games, which sucks for me, because I picked him up hoping for a trade. It didn't happen, and then he just got like 1 start since then. So I basically had a dead spot this whole week. Finally cut him. But
do you guys want to hear like a kind of crazy stat that I don't remember the exact amount of?
Yes,
but it's very interesting. It was some crazy stat saying that like in the entire NHL this year, I think there are only X amount. It was a small number. I can't remember the exact amount of goalies over .900, like save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a very small amount. Like it was like under 10. Like I don't remember the exact amount, but it was a tiny amount. And Joel Hofer is averaging on the season a .907. So does that make him a top 10 goalie in the league? I'll let you guys decide, but no, but it was really crazy. Like, we have to
Scott
kind of
Wedgwood,
readjust.
916, Logan Thompson, 915.
We can't list them all because there's a lot.
Just how much was it? How many were it?
There's a lot.
Maybe it changed since the stat was posted.
They probably put like a certain amount of games played.
Oh yeah. They put there was a limit on games played.
I mean, I'm still narrowing it down. Like, these are a lot of fantasy relevant guys, but
yeah,
it feels pretty low compared to past years.
That's it. I think like we just have to readjust our definition of like good rate stats for goalies. I mean, I think the NHL has purposely been trying to do everything they can to increase goal scoring just to make the game more interesting to the casual fan. So that obviously hurts goalie stats. And, you know, you got to era adjust things. And I think we're getting to an era where there's just a lot more goal scoring. So all that to say, the fact that Joel Hofer could be over 900 is much bigger of a deal than it may seem on the surface. Any goalie, I think, that's averaging over 900 on the season and is having a decent quantity of starts is something worth looking into.
Yeah, but I like the list. Ingram, Hofer, and then Dobish at number 1, even though they have a pretty tough next week, the Canadians. So we'll see.
They got to win, though. They got to win, and they find ways.
Can I ask you guys, mini would you rather for these goalies? All 3 of these quantity goalies that we mentioned, who are you willing to drop Brandon Bussy for? Because we've been getting Bussy questions in the Discord, and it's just like he's playing half the games now, and their quality has
I would take
pretty
Dobish.
much fallen.
I would take Dobish for sure.
And
I wouldn't take Ingram.
You wouldn't?
And then I think I would probably take Hofer.
Ingram could get you better quality. Like, they're in the same kind of realm right now, and you know you're going to get at least more games.
Yeah, I guess it is a 3-game week coming up for Bussy, so it's possible. I'm comfortable with Dobish. Hofer, I'm pretty solid on. Ingram is, to me, is close. Because, I mean, it is hard to forget what Bussy has done on the season, even though he's in a rough stretch right now.
Yeah, I think it's just Dobish for me.
All right, and
I have Ingram in another. I have Ingram in another important league though, so like I'm trying to like.
Bussy has failed to reach a 900 save percentage in 9 of his last 10 games.
Yeah.
Look, you know what?
He's not in great form. Sorry,
but that one game he did get over 900 was a shutout. So Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, going into next week, like every week of the playoffs, you have to view it as an individual week. You can't look at what have you done for me lately?
Mhm.
And with that, I'm comfortable dropping him, especially if you think he's only getting one of those 3 starts. Like to
Yeah.
get one not good quality start out of a guy on your roster for the full week, like I'd take Hofer and Dobish for sure, and probably even Ingram at this point. I didn't realize he was doing that poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
let's go to
more that.
the.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
go. No, all I'm gonna say it's just more that like I believe in Carolina so much more than I believe in St. Louis, and I believe in Hofer more than I believe in Ingram. So I'm like, huh,
Yeah,
you know
Mhm.
what I
yeah,
mean? It's a
that's
tough
fair.
one for me, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's go to the top 3 quality goalies. These are guys on back-to-backs who should get you one start, and we're pretty comfortable with the matchup or where the team's at or anything like that. So we've got Elvis Merzlikins, we've got Jonas Johansson, who Kevin told me how to say, and I remembered,
JJ.
and we've got Casey DeSmith. I think it's yay yay.
It's just like,
Alliteration king.
Yeah, exactly. So all 3 of these guys, they're this time instead of like, I mean, we're obviously just looking for like good, like easy matchups. So Elvis has either San Jose or Boston. Johansson has either Ottawa, Nashville, and DeSmith has either Philly or Pittsburgh. So these are kind of like all of them, mid matchups. I don't say any like slam dunks. Like Philly and Nashville are probably the easiest of the ones, but the thing they have going for them is more the team they're on. Elvis on Columbus. Columbus has been on fire.
Mhm.
Other than Buffalo, they're the hottest team over the past month, over the past like 6 weeks. So you got to trust in like their team, and he's been putting up some solid numbers. Jonas Johansson, Tampa, we've talked about, this whole time. Like they're just insane, right? So he's I'm fairly confident in him as well. And then DeSmith is pretty much number 1 on this list every single time Dallas has a back-to-back over the course of this season. And again, we talked about this like .900 thing. DeSmith's also a .907 on the season. So he's been putting up good quality all season. He's got 56% win rate on his games. So over 50%, over 900 save percentage. And they're playing, if he gets Philly, like to me, that's a slam dunk. Pittsburgh, they just got Crosby and Malkin back. So they're kind of a real team again, but I'm still not scared to play Dallas. They went like 9-0-1, or they're like on a ridiculous like
Ottinger
tear.
has been insane.
Yeah, so I'm very happy with the Smith as my number 1, and then both other guys I'm banking on the strength of their team for the pickups.
I think Pittsburgh's actually really good now, but because it's Dallas, I'm like you can kind of be okay with
and there's the chance at Philly.
Yes, that's true. One thing I'm realizing is it's been more so lately than earlier on in the season, but I feel like all the quantity goalies, maybe I'd rather DeSmith for a spot start over Ingram as an example, but usually I feel like the quantity are like I like them way more than the quality goalies.
In terms of quality as well, you're saying?
In terms of quality too, yes. What
Yeah,
do you think?
it's tough. It's tough because it's harder to predict. Like, I mean, it really varies week by week on how the schedule looks, right?
It's good because we're
Um,
giving the listeners more names. So
Yeah,
like
for sure.
it's really helpful to like see because like a lot of
Yeah.
people are in a pinch, and like I wouldn't be surprised, and Dobej is going to be taken a lot over the next few days. So
I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent here. Like, I think it's kind of like they're mixing together. Like, my number 1 quality, I think I still got to go to Smith just because of how unreal Dallas is. And if he gets Philly, I mean, it's very different, right? If he gets Philly versus Pittsburgh. But if he gets Philly, like, I think that's your best bet, a solid one. Number 2, I'd go Dobesh. This is quality. We're talking, like, we're mixing the list together.
Mhm.
I'd put Dobesh, then I'd put Hofer because I really like what he's been doing. And then for quality, I'd probably go to Johansson. And then probably Merzlikins Ingram. I think that's kind of how I would do my quality lists with all 6 of these.
I think I'd go Elvis over Johansson just because I think Columbus has been way more on fire, and we've seen Johansson kind of like falter a little bit recently in spot starts. But yeah, I don't hate that. I also do think that like it changes on a week to week basis, like depending how the schedule is. So yeah.
All right, well that wraps up week 22. I would love to have to take some of this advice. We'll see what happens in the next 2 days. Me and Kevin are, living on a prayer, as the great Bon Jovi would say.
I will not be okay today. I am going to the movies tonight because I just do not want to watch my team crumble in front of my eyes.
I'm going to an ice cream factory. So, you guys know how I did that, like, at my birthday party at the ice cream factory, and I ate so much ice cream I almost puked?
Yeah, I remember that.
They gave us a bunch of free vouchers, like, for each person got a free voucher to, like, come back.
Puke again.
And essentially, everyone who came for my birthday was from out of town, so they just gave us all the vouchers. So I have, like, 10 free ice cream vouchers. So, like, we have to start using them by, like, mid-June. So I think every weekend we're going to be going to this ice cream factory just to get free ice cream.
There's worse things to do on your weekend.
Yeah, and I would love to just not be looking at my phone and just, wait until the end of the night to just see what happened instead of stressing throughout the day. So that's the plan.
Everybody that's listening to this, I mean, you guys will be listening to this on tomorrow morning, so Sunday morning. And hopefully we're all talking about how Sorokin did not get a shutout. And
Yeah. I'd love to talk about how, McDavid and Celebrini, they called each other after
combined
their
for
rough
10
week,
points.
and they said, let's bring that Olympic energy back, and they combined for 1 billion points, and it broke the Yahoo system because they've never had so many points to record for anyone. So that's all I'm hoping for. I don't ask for much, but
Okay, thank you to everyone for listening to our Week 22 waivers episode. If you enjoyed, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. Rate us 5 stars on whichever platform you are listening on. If you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like. We really appreciate the support, and subscribe to our channel. Also, all of the socials are in the podcast description, and be sure to join the Discord community. That's
if you want to check out my hockey highlights.
Yeah, exactly. That too. All right, Ernie, take it away.
Ba-ba-da-bow-bow, Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo!